Hello and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and this is the main event of the year. This is the 2021 Top 10 Albums. No Nonsense Metal Reviews, here we go. So 2021 has been, you could say, for album releases, a really good year for heavy music. For gigs, festivals, concerts, tours, I think it's been another story. It's either been cancelled, postponed, rescheduled, just lots of disruption, difficulties, bands struggling, and fans losing their minds, going stir crazy from having to be locked up without their normality. But for albums, 2021 has been a brilliant year. We've had a lot of good stuff coming out, and I have really found it difficult condensing all those amazing releases down to just 10 for this top 10. But I have finally done it after months of deliberation, but here we go. So we're going to start off in ascending order. So we start off number 10 with Norwegian black metal legends Dark Throne, Eternal Hails, number 10. Amazing artwork here. Let's get that out so don't blind you with the glare. Awesome stuff there. Really heavy, bleak album. Very doomy, sort of a Sabbathy vibe to this album. But it is distinctly Dark Throne. Fenris and Nocturno Culto between them. Absolutely killing these 5 feature-length tracks, if you will. We've got His Master's Voice, excellent track, really heavy, doomy vibes in there as well, black and roll, it's got it all. Wake of the Awakened, another really great track. There's lots of atmospheric, sort of ambient elements to it. It's just a really good song, really good album. Voyage to a North Pole Adrift, top-notch album. Number 10, Dark Throne, Eternal Hails. Love it. Number 9, a younger band, heavy, more extreme metal. Number 9, Trivium, In the Court of the Dragon. Absolutely love this album. So these guys have been around for a while, but they are a hard-working band. This is album number 10 from them. Excuse me. They are a brilliant band. Is it extreme? Well, it is extreme, definitely. Is it thrash metal? Is it death metal? Is it heavy metal? It's kind of a merger of all of those different elements. Matt does brilliant, sort of harsh, aggressive vocals, brilliant clean singing, so many catchy choruses throughout. The riffs are staggeringly good, so heavy. Drums are wild throughout this album, all over the place. It's just a brilliant album. Really mature, really heavy, really catchy, start to finish. Tracks like a Sword Over Damocles, amazing. Feast of Fire. My personal favourite, The Shadow of the Abattoir. Really slightly slower paced, but really heavy. Really gripping stuff there. Fall Into Your Hands. It's a brilliant album full of really brilliant songs. Number 9. Trivium, In the Court of the Dragon. Number 8. Death metal, grindcore legends, just extreme metal institution that they are. This is Carcass with Torn Arteries. I love this album and I love this band. When they released Surgical Steel, excuse me, with their comeback album after a long hiatus after Swan Song, it was just such a superb album. It was one of my top 10 of that year, whichever year that was. But this album is absolutely killer. Bill Steer, Jeff Walker, a great duo, absolutely nail it throughout this album. The riffs are so catchy and heavy. Jeff's vocals are brilliant. It's just a really solid album. Really solid. Torn Arteries, really thrashy track there. Eleanor Rigor Mortis, great name for a track. Really heavy track. The riffs are just unbelievable. The Devil Rides Out is a bit of a stranger number there. A little bit more different textures and flavours in there. Not quite a conventional just death metal track. Not a conventional death metal album. There's a lot more going on here. A lot more different elements. Really interesting, gripping stuff. My personal favourite is Flesh Ripping Sonic Torment Limited. An epic, death metal epic. I think it's just under 10 minutes long. Brilliant. So catchy, heavy, memorable. It's just a superb album. If you like death metal, groovy, heavy metal, you'll love this. Number 8, Carcass, Torn Arteries. Number 7, going to Germany for this one, to a band that have, I think this is their 25th album in one incarnation of the band or another. They have 25 albums in total. They've been around a long time and they just keep delivering the goods. Number 7, Rage Resurrection Day. That is such awesome artwork. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love this band. They are so heavy. It's just really nasty, heavy metal. Very thrashy at times. Lots of killer riffs in there. Just a superb album. Superb band. Pevi Wagner and company. Just absolutely killing it here. So many good songs. Resurrection Day, the title track. A New Land. Man in Chains. Man in Chains, rather. The Age of Reason. Just so many good songs. Great riffs. Heavy riffs. Amazing solos. We've got Mind Control. Travelling through time as well. Just excellent stuff. Start to finish. Thrashy, heavy metal. This is so good. And these guys have been dropping amazing albums year after year, you know. They do it and they do it bloody well. So that is number 7, Rage Resurrection Day. Oh, getting a bit dry with all this excitement. Sorry about that. Number 6. Staying in Germany for this one. For Brainstorm, Wall of Skulls. Love this album, love this band. This is so catchy, so heavy. Great artwork there. So many good songs. Where Ravens Fly, amazing, fast, heavy power metal. Solitude, so catchy and memorable. So good. Escape the Silence has a guest from Pevi from Rage on vocals there. Really, really great song, great guest there. And Turn Off the Lights has Seb, the producer of the album, who's also the frontman vocalist of Auden Ogan. Awesome power metal, heavy metal, so memorable, so catchy. My Dystopia is probably one of my favourite tracks from the album, that and Solitude. The Deceiver. It's just brilliant. Brilliant, heavy power metal. Absolutely love it. Number 6, Brainstorm, Wall of Skulls. Staying in Germany once again. For the pirate metal legends that are, even though this isn't a particularly piratey album. Number 5, Running Wild, Blood on Blood. Great art there. Really great album. Love Running Wild. This reminds me of their sort of under Jolly Roger, Port Royal kind of sound. Very, very upbeat, uplifting. Just really great heavy metal. It reminds me in places of more modern or more recent Saxon and Judas Priest, and more recent Running Wild, of course. But this is such a good album. It really, really is. Absolutely love it. This is one of those records where you can put it on and you'll be headbanging the whole time. You'll be raising a fist and chugging a flagon of mead. Absolutely. Blood on Blood, really catchy, brilliant track. Wings of Fire, Say Your Prayers, great vocals as well. The riffs are killer, absolutely. The solos are phenomenal. Just the whole album is just killer. Absolutely love it. So catchy, so many hooks. Diamonds and Pearls, Crossing the Blades, The Shell Back, amazing. The closing epic, The Iron Times, 1618 to 1648 is a really, really epic track as well. Really great number there. It's one of those, it's over 10 minutes long. It's one of those sort of epic, sprawling tracks. Really brilliant. Really memorable stuff. Top-notch, heavy power metal. Absolutely love it. From these legends, Running Wild. Number 5, Blood on Blood. So this is where it gets interesting because we're going with a younger band. Still German, still heavy metal, still power metal. But this is one of my favourite albums of the year. Well, they all are. But at number 4, beating some pretty stiff competition, Hammer King. Showing my support here with my Hammer King t-shirt. Hammer King's self-titled album. This is amazingly heavy, so catchy, so good. Power metal, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it. Just bloody good metal. Excellent stuff there. Awaken the Thunder blows you away straight off the bat there. So heavy. Absolutely love it. We've got Onward to Victory. So hooky. That's the thing about this album. So memorable. From start to finish, so many sing-along choruses, really chant stuff you could just raise a fist to and headbang along. Atlantis Epilogue is my personal favourite here. So good. It's one of those tracks that it's like a mid-pace track, but it's just brilliant. It's just an absolute masterpiece. It's just so catchy. So good. All the way along, start to finish, Into the Storm, Ashes to Ashes. Amazing. If you like heavy metal, power metal, there is not much here not to like. Hammer King, self-titled album, number 4. We're down to the top 3. This is where it gets tough. This is where it gets very interesting. But this I debated and I was deliberating for a long time about where this album would come. It was gonna be in the top 3. These all 3 of these albums, including number 3, number 2 and number 1, I knew they were going to be in the top 3, but it was in what order. And number 3 went to Iron Maiden with Senjutsu. So this is an album that I think will be in a lot of people's top 10s this year. A lot of top 10s will have this album probably at number 1, and deservedly so, because it is a stellar album, a really top-notch piece of work, really, really brilliant stuff. I mean, this is cool, it's got a nice little 3D art on there, my version. Iron Maiden, New Album Kings, New Wave of British Heavy Metal Kings, and the vanguard of heavy metal, they always deliver quality stuff. They are one of those bands that put so much effort into their packaging and the whole thing. It comes together so nicely, looks the part, it sounds the part. No, it doesn't quite sound like the Iron Maiden of Number of the Beast. It's still Maiden, but it sounds a little bit more like Book of Souls, unsurprisingly. That sort of slightly slower pace than earlier in their career, in their youth. But it's brilliant. It's so well written, so well performed. They are excellent musicians. Bruce Dickinson sounds fantastic still. No, he doesn't sound like he did on Shock Tactics or Number of the Beast. No, but he sounds brilliant nonetheless. And this is a fantastic album. It has no track list on the back here, so I'm sort of doing it from memory, but I've heard it enough times to know what's good on this album. The Writing on the Wall was the single. That was a really good track, really almost like a southern edge to it. Really, really good number there. Of course, the title track and Strategio, brilliant, really heavy songs, but they've got a lot of melody in there. A lot of great guitar work. Tracks like Darkest Hour, brilliant. Time Machine. The last 3 tracks all clocked in, because this is a double album, as you can see. Double album. The last 3 tracks on that second disc there are either 10 minutes or longer. And I think we get Death of the Celts, The Parchment, and Hell on Earth. Brilliant tracks, like feature-length tracks, but just so good. Just brilliant heavy metal done really well by masters of the art. And this is a fantastic album. Iron Maiden, Senjutsu, number 3. Number 2. You might be thinking, what could be Iron Maiden? Well, number 2 has to go to Powerwolf with Call of the Wild, because this album is not only the best Powerwolf album to date, and that's saying quite a lot because they have a lot of good albums. They get better with each album, and 2019 Sacrament of Sin was an absolute high point in their career. Sorry. This is just flawless. I absolutely love it. So catchy, so many great songs. Straight off the bat, we've got Faster Than the Flame there. Ripping track, heavy power metal, to the point. Vocally, amazing throughout, just top-notch unique vocals. The riffs are crunchy, heavy chugging riffs. Lots of synths and keys in there. The whole composition, all fused together, makes such a unique identity, unique sound to Powerwolf. Like I say, Faster Than the Flame, brilliant. Beast of Gévaudan, amazingly catchy. Varkalak, so heavy, this big sort of pounding rhythm, amazing stuff. Blood for Blood, got this sort of folky sort of twang to it, you could say. Brilliant stuff. Glaubenskraft, Call of the Wild, Sermon of the Swords. Start to finish, this album is flawless heavy metal. Absolutely top notch. And in my opinion, as a huge Iron Maiden fan, this album still topped Senjutsu and everything else. Running Wild, Hammer King. This album is amazing, and Powerwolf are very rapidly becoming the new kings of power metal, and rightfully so, because this absolutely kills. Number 2, Powerwolf, Call of the Wild, amazing album. Number 1 then had to be, there wasn't going to be any other album for me this year. I knew number 1, it was actually the easiest pick of them all, I have to say. Number 1 has to go to the founding fathers, or one of the founding fathers of what we would now call power metal, heavy metal, Germany's Helloween, with their self-titled return to form there. Try and get that beautiful artwork in there. Helloween, number 1. This album is absolutely storming. It's so heavy, so memorable. The songs are amazing, well written. It's progressive. It's layered, textured details. It has it all. It has it all. It also has 3 vocalists, really, because we now have the return of Michael Kiske and original vocalist and guitarist Kai Hansen into the fold, alongside resident vocalist Andy Derris, who is a powerhouse on the mic, really is. But this just sounds fantastic. With 7 highly talented musicians, you don't expect any less, but this absolutely kills. It's so good. Out for the Glory, the opening track there. Fast, heavy, intricate, really good. just really gripping, uplifting, upbeat, heavy metal. Fear of the Fallen, really catchy again. Andy Derris on main vocals there, absolutely killing it. Can't stop looking at the amazing artwork, absolutely love it. The more you look at it, the more you see. Best Time, Mass Pollution, Angels, great crunchy riffs there, really big, powerful vocals. Rise Without Chains, Robot King, but the crowning moment here is that last epic track, Skyfall. So when this came out, my mind was blown, absolutely blown. This was the single that came out earlier this year. I just absolutely love it. It's got so many different interesting time changes there. It's got vocals from all three vocalists. And the riffs are amazing. The whole thing, this album, start to finish, is just amazing. And self-titled it is, and self-titled it should be, because this encompasses everything that Halloween is. Heavy metal, power metal, great songs, great riffs, great vocals. Absolutely love it. Number 1, the best album of 2021, Halloween. Absolutely love it. Cannot praise it enough. So in descending order, number 1, we've got Halloween, Powerwolf, Call of the Wild, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. We've got number 4, Hammer King. Number 5, Running Wild, Blood on Blood. Number 6, Brainstorm, Wall of Skulls. Number 7, Rage, Resurrection Day. Number 8, we've got Carcass, Torn Arteries there. We've got number 9, Trivium in the Court of the Dragon. Number 10, we've got Dark Throne, Eternal Hails. What a fine stack of albums there. You may not agree with them all. You know, these are all, as I say, my personal opinion. You may disagree with some choices there. You may think, hey, you left out so-and-so, or wow, that album I'm not sure about. Fantastic. These are my choices, my top 10. I want to hear what everyone else's top 10s are. I want to hear what you think of my top 10. Let's get some conversation going. Get some discussion going. This is heavy metal, this is heavy music, this is what we do, discussing it, talking about it, thinking about it, getting obsessed about it, that's what we do. So I do have some honourable mentions. Go with the first one, an album which I'm absolutely loving, but I've only recently heard, so I couldn't quite negotiate it into my top 10. Talking about Epica with Omega. Now this is a brilliant album. It's a long album, which I haven't been able to listen to as many times as I would need to have listened to it in order to work it into my top 10. But I think it's a fantastic album, and if I had heard it sooner, it probably would have found its way in there, I have to say. This album I really struggled to leave out, actually, because it's just a phenomenal record. Memoriam to the End, their 4th album, came out earlier this year. These guys, they are such a good band. Old school death metal by people who know exactly how to do that and do that well. This is a very heavy album, the heaviest album to date. Oh, forgive me. The heaviest album to date, but it is a killer album. Really good. I really love it. I just couldn't quite omit any of those 10 from my list. So I did struggle with that one. 2 albums that have come out a little bit too recently to give them enough listens to, but I'm absolutely loving, and I will, excuse me, give the full justice and give them the full review. I'm talking about Exodus with Persona Non Grata, just come out, freshy as you like, and the stunning new album Eternal Flame from Northtail. Absolutely love it. Really great stuff. Gonna do the full review, like I say, give it the full justice, but couldn't quite manage to listen to it enough to get it into the top 10. but those are incredible albums. Really interesting one, a Lockdown Live album, which I think is worth mentioning. Something a little bit different. Talking about Sepultura with Sepulquata, not quite sure how you pronounce it. So it's Sepultura performing their original tracks, other than a cover of Orgasmatron by Motorhead, but with guests. So it's obviously all live stream stuff that they must have done, but it just sounds really good. Sounds heavy, sounds fresh. Really enjoy that. And a little EP that I've particularly enjoyed this year, Kirith Ungol, Half Past Human. 4 tracks, short, sharp, sweet, epic heavy metal. If you like sort of Manila Road or, well, power metal in general actually, then this is something that you'd definitely be able to appreciate. A really good EP. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching No Nonsense Metal Reviews Top 10 Albums of 2021. I will of course be posting, oh dear, flags died at the last minute, posting the full article on the No Nonsense Metal Reviews blog page. Don't forget to subscribe, and of course let me know what you think about my top 10. Let me hear your top 10. Let's get some conversation going, get some discussion going about the best albums of 2021. So thank you very much for watching. I'm George. Stay metal.